Welcome. In front of me is an ASUS ROG Phone 5S, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this device. So I'll just pop straight to it. Now I will mention that I did actually unbox it already, so it is turned on, just not set up. So yeah, but everything in here should be roughly the same. So starting from the package, we have a magnetic little flap right here, which I kind of like. It's useless in general, but it just adds to the experience of actually unboxing this. Now you'll notice that once you open it up, you have this little animation right here, and this will go straight with the actual setup of the device, which you will see later on. For those who okay. Now inside of here we have a SIM eject tool, we have a little case right here, a plastic one, as we get every year with this device. We get some... Oh, that's interesting. We actually get a Stadia coupon. Now I'm not exactly sure if Stadia Pro Pass provides a 3-month trailer for Stadia Pro. That's neat. It's actually kind of cool. We get a Bible of instructions right here, and we get some stickers, warranty, and that's about it. I'm just gonna toss that to the side. Obviously below that we have a phone, so let's just pop it out, and as you can see, like I mentioned, it is already set up, so I'm gonna close it for now, set it to the side, and stick with the rest of the content right here. So under this little flap we have, what is that brick? We get a Type-C cable, braided. Seems actually like it has some length to it, so that's nice. And that absolute unit of a brick is a... Is that... Damn, that's actually nice. It's a 65-watt charger. That's an absolute unit of a charger. Now, I would really like to get this in camera, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm just going to hope that you believe me that it's a 65 watt. I mean, look at the size of it. It's kind of hard to, you know, be this truthful when you get a unit like that for a charger. And that's about it. We do also have like these spare little rubbers right here. So we get one of these and 2 of these. And they are strictly for... It's right over here. As you can see, this is the replacement of this one, and I actually have no idea what the other one is for, because I don't really see anywhere else a flap. I assume it's just strictly for the Type-C in this case, because it does have a Type-C shape. Anyway, let's just plug that back up so I don't lose it. There we go. And let's go with the setup. Language, sure. Go. No. Now I'm not sure, but it might require actual internet access for this to function, though I'm just kind of guessing. Oh, wait. Let's go with the classic look. Let's go with light. Oh, no, never mind, there it is, so we don't need internet for it. So let's just scroll down. Which box do you have? So I do have this one. Let's allow. So we use the cameras. And all you need to do is really hello? to like have it the entire thing. Come on. Okay, there we go. It finally got it. So you basically have this like neat animation. Now, to be fair, this is just a gimmick, and in terms of gimmicks, I did really like the one that was made with the other box, the kind of like the hexagonal shape. It had like this cool animation of a motorbike rising from the box, from like basically inside of it. So it looks really cool. But anyway, let's get actually to it. Okay, cool. No one cares. Got it. Okay, so let's get to it. So starting off with the actual display, which you can see right now, this is max brightness and actually overcapping the brightness of the camera, so I'm going to lower it. This is a 6.7-inch display with a 1080p by 2448 pixels, and this comes out to be roughly 395 pixels per inch with an 82% screen to body ratio. It peaks at 1200 nits brightness, so it does get really bright. It's an AMOLED display with about 1 billion colors, 144 Hz display refresh rate, along with an HDR 10 Plus certification based on the AMOLED display. Now moving on to the back, which is the weaker part of this device and most certainly not the prime part of it, are the cameras. So we have a triple camera setups. The main one is a 64 megapixel wide sensor, then we got a 13 megapixel ultra wide and 5 megapixel macro. So in theory, actually we have only like 2 cameras, because macro at 5 megapixels, I wouldn't really count it. And obviously those cameras don't really perform that well. They get outperformed by basically majority of the devices at this price range. And to be fair, those cameras are here just so we can occasionally take a photo. They're not designed to, like, to basically prioritize photo taking. This phone is prioritizing gamers, obviously. They have the air triggers, the like multiple USB-C so you can charge from the bottom as an example, and the cable doesn't actually get in your way. Those dual speakers that are blasting straight at you with an outstanding sound. So yeah, this phone is specifically designed for gaming, and cameras are just an afterthought. And probably if they could get away with it, they would remove those if they could. Now at the front, we have a 24 megapixel wide sensor. So again, just a camera. Again, it won't basically blow you away with the quality, so don't expect that. And moving on to actual specs of this phone, inside we have a Snapdragon 888 Plus. The phone has several different versions of it. We have an 8 and 16 gigabyte RAM version. So I believe there's also one option in between. Let me quickly check. So we have 12, 8, yep, actually that is the, yep, so we have also 12 gigabyte version. So we have, let me quickly check, it says 12, okay, there, okay, I found it. So let's actually, I'm curious about this one. The one that I have right here is 12 gigs and 512 gigs storage. So this is basically like the mid-range in terms of specifications of memory and RAM. Now, the bare minimum of this device is 128 gigabyte storage with 8 gigs of RAM. Then we have a 12 gig bump up to RAM. Then we have a bump up to 256 with minimum 12 gigs of RAM. And also the same with 16 gigs of RAM. 512, 16, 512 with 18. So they have a really decent amount of choices in terms of RAM and storage, though with every bump in storage you have a bump in and also later on with RAM. Personally, 16 gigs of RAM or 18 is way more than I'm pretty sure any kind of Android device should need. 18 is more than I have on my computer, and I ran like a heck a lot of Chrome tabs. If Chrome ain't hopping all of that RAM, then I'm pretty sure a phone will be just doing far good enough with just like 12 at least. So yeah, now moving on, a couple additional features. This thing has a whopping 6000 mAh battery, and with that 65 watt charger, they claim that it will charge to 70% from basically being dead in 30 minutes, and all like full charge to 52 minutes. So this is some blazing fast charging, along with just a super fast charger and a hefty amount of battery inside of it. Now that hefty battery size does kind of add this bulk to the device. It is not the thinnest one, and it's also not the lightest phone, so probably sticking a case on this phone will be a very good choice, because if you drop this device, just sheer weight of it will probably break something inside of it. And as you can see, once popped in, it has this typical ROG style with these cutouts right here, just so it shows up some parts of it in this kind of gamery look. Now obviously you can see that this version of this device, because there's several, has just a static little image right here in this kind of dot pattern, though there are a couple other options with a lit up logo or an actual display. So obviously you can see that those aren't the ones. Now if you go with any other ones, you will need to pay a little bit extra, but some people like the bling, so for the people that do like it, this might be worth it. And moving on to the price of this device, I do have to say that the pricing here is also really competitive. It comes at around $640. Now this does not include tax, so keep that in mind. Though for some reason the pricing seems to be kind of going out of the whack, because it comes apparently at 1,100 euros, but euro is worth more than dollar. So I'm not exactly sure what is happening here. The price in euros should be lower. So let me quickly actually no, I'm not gonna check it. But judging by the specs of this device, it's a flagship phone, great display, great processor, stupid amount of RAM, and almost any configuration apart from the bare minimum one. Versatility with the Type-C port on the bottom, on the side. You also get a headphone jack right here, and also the air triggers on the side. Those, as you can see, these are capacitive, so they are reacting to how hard you press them. You can have them set to basically just tap on them and they will function, or you can actually have to like press them. Additionally, there are some settings in the system that you can squeeze the phone and it will react to that as well by launching some function that you have assigned to it. There is plenty things happening here. So obviously, if the phone comes at the price that it does, at $640, this is a stupidly low price for such an outstanding device. I mean, this is just a flagship in almost every sense, minus the cameras. The cameras are nothing really special, but everything else, it just screams power here. So for that price, damn, that would be a outstanding deal. And to be fair, I looked at the previous models of this device, and usually they were at a really competitive price. I'm not exactly sure why this phone isn't as popular, maybe just because it's catering strictly for gamers. I mean, it's ROG, Republic of Gamers, so it might kind of lose some audience just because of that. But damn, this phone is really good. Even the previous version of it, they were fairly cheap considering what they bring to the table. The only downside was the cameras, and obviously still the case here, but like, you get a charger, and no slouch of a charger. This is a 65 watt. You get a braided cable Type-C to Type-C. You get a case, you get a phone that is just top of a notch. So yeah, I have no complaints here. This is an outstanding device. and it will outperform, in my opinion, if you're not looking for a device that takes photos, this is more valuable than any kind of Samsung, minus maybe the ones that come with an S Pen or whatever pen. But in any kind of other cases, phone without a pen, this is, in my opinion, way better. So yeah. So that being said, I do recommend this device. It's a outstanding device specifically for people that like gaming on their device. This thing is just so good. And even for the people that don't like gaming, this is still a fairly decent package, worth the money. And that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.